to be practicing this blending techniques with our Prisma colored pencils. Some people are doing it on colored paper. Some of you are doing it on white paper. We're basically going to be making a value scale. I'm going to show you how to do it in cross hatching or hatching or with circular blending. After you watch this demonstration, you choose which technique you want to do. I do not care. I truly, deeply do care. I just want it to be something easy for you to do. So you're going to trace a circle. If you would like to use this circle right up here right now, you can, but obviously I messed up mine already. So I'm going to do 2. Bless you. Do not press down very hard with your colored pencil when you do this. Because I'm going to show you, you don't have to make 2. Thank you for that question. I'm going to do a cross hatching one and a circular blending one. So you only choose one for now. The other paper, we'll also use like our dark pencil for now. You can also use, instead of black pencil, you can use blue. You can use brown. That goes for all of these. I just want to show you how to do a shadow. We're also going to make a value scale. So we're going to do a little rectangle right here. We need to see how to make it go from dark to light flawlessly. So I'm going to do it on white paper first. I'm going to do my, so basically all you need right now, if you're drawing along with me, is 1 circle and 1 rectangle. Fit it on your paper however you can. We're going to do a sphere and a value scale. Okay. I do have those wipes. That might help better. You're welcome. We are going to choose one side to be our light source. This is my light source. This is my sun. This is my sun. Look at my sun. Yeah. Nope, you only need 1. If you are coloring on white paper, you only need the white paper. If you're doing this on colored paper, you only need the colored paper. That is it. Okay. I'm going to first off do it the way that you know it. Most of you know how to do this part. Okay. Value scale. I'm going to do regular circular blending. So I'm using, let me zoom in. I'm using my Prisma color as I would a graphite pencil. Circular blending is where we are doing little tornadoes, basically, right? Auntie M. I want to see just how dark you can make it in this area. Pitch black, solid, heavy pressure blending. I want to see you make it go super duper light just with this. So don't start drawing along now if you don't want to. Or you can do 2 of them. You can do a circular blending on the front side and a hatching one on the back side. This is the easiest level. So if you're like, Mrs. Bill, I still struggle with some of my coloring techniques and my shading, this is the example that we're going to use for your shading. The reason why we're making a value scale right now is to get good pressure blending techniques and to make sure that you do understand the range of light to dark, and then also how to turn it into a form on the sphere. This will make your person not look like a flat piece of trash. Now the value scale I did very quickly, but I wanted to show you that even though I have a black colored pencil, I can make a super light gray. And that fades out really quick. Look how dark that area is. That needs to be a little bit more subtle. So usually when you do circular blending, it takes a couple of layers. Sometimes I go in different directions with my blending as well. So I was blending straight up and down, and now I'm blending side to side. I am going to show you this little problem that happens. So say you drew something, like I drew this star. You don't have to do this, and then you erase it. I pressed down pretty hard. And now I'm using my black colored pencil and I'm coloring over it, and you can still see my star, right? So we have to be careful with this. Now I could fill it in if I get really close, but what happened is I just scarred the paper. And that's what happens when we do our little grid stuff. So that might show up on your paper, and that's okay that it does that. We'll just have to blend over it. So those of you who are doing the circular blending, it's not as easy as it looks, and it does take a little bit more effort to go in and make sure that your layers are really nice and smooth. and that your layers are also even and fading out nicely. So we have our dark value and our medium value and our light value. And I'd like to take a minute here to thank all of you for paying attention to my demonstration like I asked, and you're not on your phones. And a special shout out goes to everybody who's wearing their masks properly. If we could all follow that instruction, keeping our masks on over our nose, even though it's hot as heck. I'm literally sweating under here. I'm trying to keep all of you nice and safe in here. So make sure that your little blending works. So it goes from a nice dark to gray to medium as evenly as I can. Flawless. Flawless. Okay, I love doing these exercises because I love little precise technical details. This is kind of my jam. It might stress some of you out, but you have to practice this. Okay, so I am going to keep this area really light. So if you press down very hard with your colored pencil like I did right now, on this area, you are going to lightly erase that part of your sphere so that it's still there. I just don't want it to be a heavy, I almost cussed, a heavy dark outline. I do, however, like to start, with my outline, my dark areas. So if you want to trace one of these circles, please come and do that. I'm doing my circular blending in this technique. I know that some of you are like, girlfriend, we already know how to do this. We're not idiots. That's fine. Please watch my little techniques anyways. As I do this rocking motion for my circular blending, it might help you. There might be something new for you. So when you are doing this circular blending, I don't press down very freaking hard at first because what if I done goofed? What if this area is not supposed to be my shadows? That happens to me a lot because I have pretty bad attention to detail, focusing, ADHD, she struggles. So right now I'm putting in my medium, so I'm basically filling in this whole circle with a nice flat gray because the thing and the trick about Prismacolors is the layering techniques. So those of you who've used Prismacolors before and you were unsuccessful, chillax, try these techniques. It's all about layering and pressure, or it's about keeping your pencil sharp if you like cross-hatching. Can I get a little raising the hands for people who've learned cross-hatching? 1, 2, 3. Cool. That'll be next. Yeah. Raise your hand if you are warm in here. We're a little warm. Yeah. Cool. Thanks. So this is taking me a minute. Thank you all for paying attention. Sometimes I like to dull down my pencil because I'm noticing some lines happening, and that's one of my tricks too. There's something on my pencil that's making a weird scratching noise, and I want it to go the heck away. You have to keep your pencil sharp, but also I don't like it too pointy. So my technique here is keeping it gray. And those in the back of the room, I do hear a conversation, and it shouldn't be happening. Thank you for pulling your masks up. So I'm going to make it fade. So I'm doing in a way a value scale here, but I do need to make it fade out to almost light because this is where my light source is hitting. Uh-oh, I feel a tickle in my nose. I'm good. Nope, it's coming. Oh dear. Oh man, what a tickle that is. All right, so this looks like I just really very childishly filled in a circle, doesn't it? Now, in the areas that I want to stay lighter, I still went to like work through and erase some of that. And now I'm going to start adding my dark shadows. If you're bored and you want to follow along with this, you can do this. If you are working on those, I do have this picture on canvas. Those of you who are working on the colored paper, I see Connor working ahead, and I'm happy to see that. That's fine. You know what you're doing. From here, I can even tell that you are blending well. Good job. So now I'm just going to start going at this a little bit more aggressively. But I'm not coloring it very heavy. I need it to be in a rocking motion too to help make it look more three-dimensional. I could spend an hour on this one sphere. Do I want to? No. Should you? Yeah, you should spend an hour on it. Am I going to? Maybe, but I'll probably run out of memory on my computer. Because recording this for an hour in high definition apparently takes up a lot of memory. So I'm still going in very tight, small circles, but you can't see those circles, can you? It should look very nice and even, and you shouldn't see your lines. Again, this is like level 1 for shading and blending and getting used to these materials. So those of you who are struggling with some of our technical details when it comes to making art and producing, this is the method that you should do, because it is something that is very similar to what you've done before, which is graphite. You've done this before. So I'm still making it get very light up there. I'm going to leave that part and start adding my other layer of darkness. The harder you press down is called burnishing. Burnish sounds like burnish. Varnish is a wooden finish, but burnish is where we press down and make a really nice waxy, shiny, hard layer of our colored pencils, and it smooths it out. I love doing these blending things, mostly because it makes all of you have to be silent and watch me draw like I'm some freaking magic person. I am magic. I am art. I'm going to start pressing down a little bit harder in here, but I'm going to leave a little light area to make it look like the table is reflecting a little highlights. So it's dark, but I like to leave a little bit of a bounce light. That's what that's called. I am starting to press harder now, going in these little areas in the back. Go ahead. And I'm going to add it right here, just a little bit heavier because it is on the table. Take your time, be kind, rewind. Yep, in the cabinet that has the red paper on it. Spend some time making it nice and fading out, just like what we did with our value scale. We have to have this value in the sphere. Now I'm starting to add my darkness, and I can't just have it stop here. It has like a little sharp C on it. It has to fade out. So if you're using white right now, that's what we're gonna be doing. On the opposite, we let the paper be black and we add in the highlights. So those of you who are doing colored pencils on colored paper, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but I think you can manage. So I have to make that fade out nice and even. I'm really proud of those of you who are still focused and engaging in the demonstration and drawing along. Some of you are working ahead on your portrait because you're excited. Just don't add the shading in yet. I want to show you how to add the shading in the face. Today we should be spending a crap ton of time making our little value scale and our sphere. We are not blending the white and the black together. We're making a gray by using different pressures. Okay, my hand is starting to get sore from just staying on this and making it as detailed as possible. I don't want this to look flat. I might tell some of you to redo it and give you some techniques. I see Cameron stretching out his hand and shaking it. Perfect. I like to bend mine back like this, gently. I don't need carpal tunnel. Don't stress it very hard. Push in very slowly, especially when you're working with Prisma colors. This is why Mrs. Bill paints now, because I don't have to do that heavy pressure blending. I'm a gamer. I've noticed that the more time I spend on my phones, my thumbs are sore all the time from typing out on my, because I've been doing homework on my phone and typing out really long responses. Ooh, I just cracked my thumb. That felt great. Take the time to do that. Now it's time for the shadow. I know you're losing your interest in there. I hear some combos in the back. Hopefully it's about how good of an artist Mrs. Bill is. It's not. It's about whatever drama is happening in their lives that I don't want to hear about, so they shouldn't be talking about it. Because what if I have to report you for saying something weird? Welcome back. And I want your edges to be nice and clean, so go ahead and define them. Now my shadow is going to be nice and dark. But I start off with a medium shadow everywhere, just like I did in the sphere. But I'm going to clearly define where the bottom of that shadow is. And now you can see that bounce light. So my sphere doesn't blend into the shadow. There's a clear definition from where the sphere ends and this begins. And I have to let that shadow fade out because shadows are not solid black. Not always. They get smoky. They fade out. Chiaroscuro, an Italian word for fading and blending and being dramatic. Getting this oval in here to create a nice shadow is kind of hard. You can erase colored pencil. You just have to try really, really, really hard. So it has a little value scale of here going from dark to light. This is my circular blending demonstration. It has come to an end.